Hey folks, this video is not my usual fare, but I figured you folks would get a kick out of it. We're going to do an unboxing of a really old piece of telecommunications software called Procomm Plus. So here we go. Way back in the ancient days, when you bought software, it came in a box. It came in a box a lot like this. This is a sealed copy of an MS-DOS terminal program called Procomm Plus. And Procomm was noted for being a shareware program. In fact, the early versions were much simpler, but you could download for free and use. Procomm Plus here also came out as a test drive version. And I'll show a picture of the disk that the DOS program came on. We have a sealed copy of it here, and I figured I'd just do a fun little unboxing so folks could see what it was like back when you could actually buy software and hang on to it, and it wouldn't go away if you lost your downloaded copy, unlike today. So let's go ahead and we'll take the plastic off of this and see what is inside. Okay, it looks like a slipcase maybe? Ah, there we go. It comes apart like so. And it shows all the fun things on the back of the box the software can do and what's inside the box. I believe this copy only has 5 1/4 inch media. Oh, look at that, see? It's still sealed. So let me go ahead and get something to open that with. There we go. Let's see what we got in here. Okay. We have, there feels like diskettes in there. And then we've got the user's manual. And I will go ahead and make sure that all this gets scanned and uploaded if it hasn't been already. And then this is the scripting language that comes with it, because like many DOS terminal programs back in the day, they had a scripting language that you could write rudimentary programs in to do automated things online. And then we have a product registration card. Something tells me sending this in won't do me any good. And then looks like we have a quick start guide. And then we'll move the box away from here and see what kind of fun things are in the quick start guide. Ooh, CompuServe. There you go. We'll take this stuff out. We'll look at that separately here. The quick start guide. Basically, probably how to install things and stuff like that. Huh. Okay. We have, it looks to be Data Storm Support Forum, which is probably their bulletin board system. More registration card stuff. So based on what I'm seeing here, it looks like that they had a support forum on CompuServe, which was an online service back in the 80s and early 90s. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, decals. That's awesome. I had no idea. That's pretty cool. And then this is, oh, it's a flyer for Procomm for Windows. That's kind of neat. You may have to chase down a copy of Procomm for Windows and take a look at that. And then Software use and the law. This is probably a little scary pamphlet to make sure people didn't copy that floppy, because that was a thing back then. And then the quick start guide, of course. Okay, well, we have that. So let's take a peek at what we have for diskettes. Okay, we have these diskettes. So let's take a peek and see what we got here. The sealed licensing thing, because like you gotta agree to the license that you can't read until you open it up, right? Doesn't matter. Data storm technologies, I seriously doubt even exists anymore. Wow, they really like this one. They wanted this sealed. So we're just gonna brute force our way through it. Take a peek in here and see what we got. Ooh, 2 program discs with the adhesive already starting to fail. These are 720K diskettes. You can tell that because they do not have the high density hole punched here. And you can probably see a little square where that is. I don't know if the camera will focus there. You see that little dent? That is where a high density hole would be. So these are 2 720K diskettes. Let me go ahead and change things around, and we'll get this installed and take a peek at it. Okay, let's see if we can't get this installed. Oh, and it can read it. So I think it's PC install, right? Go to drive B. Looks like we were May 1st, 1991, with a README that was updated in 92. Oh, interesting. So this tells me that the computer may be too fast to allow this installer to work. So I'm going to have to do some research to see if I can't get around that. I know this was an issue with Turbo Pascal and unpatched CRT unit stuff, but I'm not sure about this. So I need to check. We'll be back. So our installer problem is due to 2 things. The speed of the computer that we're using, which in this case is an AMD Duron running at some 958 megahertz, as you can see by the CPU utility I'm running right now, or ran, and a runtime issue with the programming language used in the creation of the installer program. So in order to make the Procomm Plus installer work, I have to really slow down the CPU. And in order to do that, I need to use a tool to slow the computer down. And in this case, it's a utility called MoSlow, and I will put a link in the description on how you can get that utility. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to drive B where the installer is, and we're going to, I think it's PC install. Yeah. So we're going to go MoSlow. We want 10% of the clock speed and PC install. And here we go. And yes, it does. And all these fun things with my serial number. I may need to find a serial number. I don't recall seeing one of those. Install Procomm Plus for the first time. So yeah, well, that's what we're going to do. And the source path is drive B. Yes. And oops, I need to, because I have other terminal programs installed there, so we'll do that. And yes, my serial number. Okay, I need to go find that. And I found it. It is in the registration card that I did not take out of the package. Okay, so let's enter that registration number here, or serial number. And frankly, I don't care who sees this, because this company has been gone since 1996 when it was bought by Quarterdeck. And some years after that, it was snapped up by Symantec. So yeah, something tells me nobody cares at this point. Okay, so the serial number is PP20759246. And I'm not even going to bother filling out the registration card. Disk 1 is in there. Even at 10% of the clock speed of this machine, copying stuff off a floppy disk is still slow. But I am very happy that it seems to be reading the media without any problem. And this has been sealed away in a box since 1991, so, or 1992 probably. Okay, let's give it disk 2. Any key. That's interesting. I wonder what the C file is all about. We'll have to take a look at that. Looks like it's got some dialing directories included with it. Ah! And I had a cat jump on the keyboard just as the installer was running, with a modem and with a direct connection. Yeah, it's going to go COM1. Dialing method is pulse. And the modem is actually a Hayes 2400, but it's got a Wi-Fi board in it. Oh, look at that. Interesting terminal selections. So we're going to go with ANSI. Default. Oh, wow. It does have Z modem. There we go. Download path is DL. Check system files. That's interesting. Okay. Boot directory. Okay. Sure. Please read it carefully. Ooh. Down. See any errors? Get out of that. No, I'm not going to print or save the report. Well, you know what? We'll save it just for shits and giggles, huh? Okay, and now we'll get out of this. README file. Yeah, this is version 2.01. As far as I know, this is the only version 2 for DOS. I don't know if there's a patch to upgrade it or not. And it talks about various issues and things like that. It'll be interesting to see if it runs without the MoSlow process, and if it requires it, I can just go ahead and create a batch file that'll start it. We'll escape. Press key to return to DOS. And now we're just going to go ahead and reboot the machine because it wants us to, and it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't cost me anything to do it. And I am booting off of a 4 gigabyte compact flash card. Okay. What do we have here? PC Plus. Yep. Nope, and it froze the computer up. Okay, so, it looks like I'm going to be buying a shareware utility. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll reboot the computer. Okay. We'll try 20. Nope. And we got to do a reboot again. So 20% of 950 megahertz is too fast. My understanding is that the runtime error that we're seeing, I'll stop that, is associated with Clipper. And if they've written a terminal program in Clipper, that would just absolutely blow my mind. That's not something you typically associate with a communications program. It's something that you write database software with, or used to back in the 80s. So yeah. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Any key to enter terminal mode. And there we are. There is no dialing directory, and that's okay. We'll come up with something soon. Well, it's been a couple of days since the last bit. I had to chase down a power supply for my Wi-Fi modem so I could give a reasonable demonstration as to what Procomm Plus looked like when it was actually connected to a BBS. And today we're going to go for a system called Dura Europos that ran into coma in the 80s and early 90s, and was a very popular Apple II based board that ran a really cool kind of adventure game. The original sysop restored the BBS from backups a number of years ago, and it's now available as a Telnet BBS. So we're going to go ahead and connect up to that. And I don't think I even have an account on Dura anymore. So we'll go ahead and we'll try that. So we've got to start up Procomm Plus. And I actually did buy a copy of MoSlow, as you can see by the new version number. Okay, and then we've got our modem. So what I am going to do is add Dura's old phone number to the dialing directory. So we're going to go AT plus config, and we are connected at 2400 baud, and we are going to add a new phone book entry, and this one is 588-0638. Please nobody call this number if you know what the area code is, because it's probably somebody's phone number now and they'll get really upset. So it's dura-bps.net, and the port is 6359. We don't use Petski. We're going to turn echo off. And hit enter. And then we're added. So we'll go ahead and just hit enter to exit that. And now we're going to create a dialing directory entry for this. So we'll go ahead and let's see here. How do we add one? Okay, that's what I thought. It's 588. Come on. 588 0638 2400 baud. Okay, the sound effects are kind of dumb. Full duplex. We're gonna go. COM1's default. That's fine. We're not going to be doing any uploading or downloading. ANSI is fine because I seriously doubt it does ProTerm. Although, you know, I really should check to see if it does ProTerm. Nope. Mode is modem. And we're not going to do any of that. Don't clear that. Accept this entry. Save it to disk. And now we're going to hit enter and we'll call it. And it's connected. So what are we doing here? Well, that's annoying. Yeah, we're not connected. Off hook though. I'm looking at the modem lights that you can't see them. So let's try just dialing the number. Oh, that's connect 6. That's what the problem was. We're using other. No. You know, Telix is fine. And here we are. We are connected to Dura Europos. And I'm hoping the screen glare is not too bad. Let me turn off another lamp. I just noticed that. There we go. Wow, that color is just trash. That's probably a terminal emulation problem on my part. Oh, this is bad. This is very bad. It's not accepting the spacebar to exit the title. There we go. '86 to 1993. Yep. So let's enter new. Why not? Login name. We'll go Gene B. Oh yeah, I'm that old. And we'll give my email address. I'll probably hide it from you people though. How many numbers do I see? 3. Yep. Installation of Procomm Plus for video. And how do we save this? .s, yes. No, I would not, because I'm going to come back here at some point. And you're not going to see that. You're not going to see that either. So, number 35. This is kind of neat. And yeah, I'm hitting it at 2400 baud. I could crank the speed up to whatever I wanted to. The modem I'm using will support up to 115K, I think. Now that's very clever. That's kind of neat. And here's the main menu. The game in this system is based on Land of Spur, I think. Interesting. Let's question P. Oh, there is a download. That's cool. PBS list. God, I wonder if that's the original Starfleet HQ up north, in like Renton, I think. That's awesome. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to log out because I think that is just enough for this demonstration. And the furnace turned on. Damn it. We'll be back. Okay, now that the furnace is off, we'll go ahead and take a look at Procomm Plus's predecessor, Procomm, because I got that installed as well. Now, the interesting thing here, this is Procomm version 2.43 from back in, it looks, excuse me, it looks like 1980s, no, 88 is the compile date. So the interesting thing is that it works. It doesn't require MOSLO, which tells me that they went ahead and used a different language compiler for this product. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push the camera up just a little bit. There we go. And you can see here the dialing directory, it looks a lot different. Also, the default baud rate is 1200, and we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at it. And I mean, you can see that we're still, whoops. No, we're at 1200 baud, so I think Alt-O, no, that's not right. Escape, Alt-P, there we go. We need to change to 2400 N81, which is 9. And we'll go 24 to save my changes and hit Escape. And there we go. We are back on to docking to the modem. Anyway, it's Alt-H, no, Alt-F10 for help. And you can see it's, you know, pretty monochrome. It doesn't have the colors that Procomm Plus has. Let's see, line settings, we did that. I don't know that there is any emulation changes. I'll try the setup screen. Let's do Alt-I first. Yeah, that's just the version number. Okay, terminal setup. Let's see what we got here. NZBBS. It looks like there's only one. And that's not surprising, I mean, considering the age of this whole thing. general setup. Huh, interesting. Anyway, that's what the old original Procomm looks like. And then we're going to go ahead and exit out of this. And one thing I noticed is that the exit screen is the same color and format as, or in Procomm Plus as it is in Procomm. So that's kind of amusing. And exit to DOS, yes. And then my favorite is Telix. And this is what I used. In fact, it's probably got the baud rate's correct. And does the setup. At any rate, this is my original dialing directory back from about 1988. And you can see Dura Europos is number 4 on the list. All the bulletin boards you see here listed are were in the Tacoma or South Puget Sound area. Tacoma, Puyallup, Sumner. Some of them were like Poverty Bay. That was farther north in King County and Federal Way. And all kinds of neat, fun places. A lot of really good memories in just about every single one of these phone numbers. So, at any rate, that is an unboxing and demonstration of Procomm Plus. I will include links in the description below where you can get pretty much everything I've used here. Moslo, the Internet Archive has got images for Procomm Plus as well as really good scans of the manuals in the Aspect programming manual. And you can find Telix and things like that. Or you can find Telix and the original version of Procomm out on the internet, typically in old software sites. So that's pretty much all I have for you. I'm going to quit rambling. That's it for me, I think. I will see you folks in the next video. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Bye-bye.